Hi, I'm Dr. Joe. I make these videos because I believe that when we speak about what we've been through, we help others feel less alone. I want to help end the taboo around speaking about different kinds of suffering, especially sexual violence, share how I have healed, and maybe help others in the process. Today I want to talk about nightmares after sexual violence, but mostly I wanted to say something really important, that it does get better. My cat is visiting me today for this video. So my nightmares started in the mid 90s and they slowly became less and less frequent over the next decades. I'm 58 now and I haven't had one in 5 or 6 months, and before that it was another 5 or 6 months, maybe a year. I used to have them, again, it would really vary depending on what was happening with my life, but maybe once a month or every couple of months, maybe, and then also sometimes less. But I definitely have them much less than I used to. The nightmares were always about an imminent attack of some kind. Oddly enough, the last couple of ones I had were even more clearly about an imminent rape instead of some kind of vague kind of attack. I always scream, and that wakes me up, and I also kick. So I've kicked the father of my children many times, and now that I'm on my own, I hope that this last time I didn't startle my cat. After I awake, I feel traumatized, scared, and alone. I feel shaken. And sometimes the next day, the effects would last for hours when I woke up. I wouldn't always remember it exactly, like the minute I woke up, but it would eventually come to me and I'd be like, oh my God. And sometimes it was difficult, but over the years, I learned to share my experiences, and I was in a lot of counseling and did group work, um, and I also just learned to be kind to myself. So if I had, that happen, then I would, try to be extra gentle with myself for the next few hours or for that day or whatever. Sometimes my spouse at that time, he wouldn't acknowledge that this had happened. And so when I needed help or needed support, I would ask for it. But sometimes I felt even more alone because it clearly was something very dramatic that had happened, like somebody screaming in the middle of the night and kicking, and and then to not have that acknowledged, like just to not have the person closest to me say, well, are you okay, or do you feel okay this morning or something, that made me feel even less alone, that made me feel even more alone. And now I'm on my own and I live on my own, and I actually feel less alone because, well, it's complicated, but I do feel less alone. And I felt like, it's just gotten so much better over the years and less, like the last one I had, it affected me much less than it had, in years prior. And I learned, I was able to comfort myself. Related to this, I also had an extreme startle response when someone would try to wake me. And even if they tried to do it very gently, I would, again, scream or kick. And all this, of course, is if you've been diagnosed with PTSD or CPTSD, the startle response is very common. The other thing that made me feel alone about these nightmares was that in all the meetings and group therapies that I had done, I'd never ever met anyone who also had, something like this happen to them. But about 3 years ago, in a recovery meeting, a man shared that he was having nightmares and how it was affecting him and his wife. And I immediately went up to him after the meeting and told him about my experience. And I think that helped both of us a little bit, just knowing that there was somebody else out there who had a similar situation. So I wanted to say that healing, it has taken a long time. Of course, if you're only in your 20s or something and you're thinking, oh my God, I have to suffer for the next 30 years. It really, it got better. Now I am 58, so it might seem like I'm really old to you, but it did get a lot better. And I think it wasn't like it was horrible, for all those 30 years, because it wasn't every night, and it wasn't, or even every month, or and just every time that I would ask for support, that would help ease the pain, or every time I would, reach out to someone or ask for a hug, that helped me a lot. And so I would encourage you to, be gentle with yourself and try to get the help you need. So if you are struggling now, I want you to know that it does get better. And I think that the more we talk about these things, like you can talk to me, or you can talk to your friends, or maybe you have family that's close, I think then the more we can heal, and the faster we can heal if we share uh, share our stories. So take care, and till the next video. And as an addendum, I wanted to add that it's taken me a long time to do these videos. Um, I I have mixed feelings about how it'll be received, and it's also just really painful to share this personal information. Um, but something inside of me just keeps telling me that no, it's right to share, and I want it out there, and I want other people to be able to talk, and I don't want people to feel ashamed and feel like they can't talk about these things, because I've heard so many people in meetings talk, and people are really suffering out there, and I think the more we share, the less we all will suffer. So thanks again. Till next time.